From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your Evening Update.
Cascade Paint & Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Good evening, everyone. It was fairly active for some of us, others not so active. Thunderstorms, a lot of marine warnings out along the coast here. There was also some pretty strong thunderstorms for parts of the valley. And you know what? We're going to be looking at more of that off and on here as we go into tonight and into tomorrow. Before we get into the forecast, though, I want to get your thoughts on something. This is something I actually tried at noon for the first time. And I actually did get a lot of great response from many of you. But of course, there's a broader audience and more people, and got people watching the evening forecast as well. So I want to get your thoughts as well. So here's my new format idea. As you all know, one of the things that I'm known for is I do a very detailed forecast. And that's one of the things I'm known for and I take pride in. I like to try to give you as much detail as possible. But one of the disadvantages of that is the fact that the forecast can go on for a very long period of time, especially if there's a lot going on. Here in the last week, I've been averaging about 18 to 22 minutes long per hit. That's a long time. Now, for many of you who have the patience for that and have the time for that, you probably appreciate it, and that's great. But I want to make this channel, and I want to make Weather NorCal as versatile as possible. And I want to make it as friendly for everybody. So here's my proposal. What I'd like to do is give you the main forecast to start off with. So for those of you who just want to watch real quickly, watch what's going on for the next 24 hours, you can get that within the first couple of minutes. After that, after we get through that 7-day forecast, then we go into that deep dive forecast, as I like to call it. So take a look at the format that I do here, and then tell me what you think about it. Because I think it's going to be a lot more friendly for people who maybe are on the go, especially in the morning, and have a lot to do and just want to know what to expect for the day. All right, so you can email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com, instant message me on Facebook, or you can also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can comment there as well. So again, just let me know what you think, because again, I'd like to know what you all think. And so far, it's been pretty positive toward this new format. So let's start with just what we could call it maybe a quick cast, right? Just a quick forecast here to help get you an idea what to expect for the next 24 hours. Chance for thunderstorms through the weekend. We've got periods of heavy rain, snow, and gusty winds. And I say periods because not all day long, not all night long. There will be times when it's going to be dry and it's going to be calm, but then suddenly a storm comes through. Travel delays through the weekend. I'm expecting that. We haven't seen a ton of that so far. There's been several chain requirements for the day today, but it hasn't had a huge impact on I-5 or even Highway 299 yet. I think that'll change though by tonight and into tomorrow. And this cold and unsettled pattern is going to continue into early next week. So let's take a look at Futurecast. As we take you into tonight, this is when I expect some of the heaviest rain and heaviest snow. And this is when I expect the biggest impact on that mountain travel. So here's 8 p.m. on Friday. Here's this big band of moisture coming through. Heavy rain at times for the valley, not to mention thunderstorms. Heavy snow in the higher elevations. We're talking Highway 299 and we're talking Interstate 5 as well. Of course, it goes without saying the eastern mountains too. Then we go into about midnight tonight, right? We're going to stop it there. Now, you'll see things are starting to kind of break apart. So at this point, the valley will see scattered showers throughout the night and maybe even a stray thunderstorm. But then we're still seeing snow in the mountains. But you'll notice it's just not widespread and happening for everyone. But we are going to be looking at periods and pockets of heavy snow at times in the higher elevations. And that's going to make things very unpredictable for those of you that need to drive in the mountains, because it can suddenly be clear in one spot, but then you head up a little bit more to the north or south and suddenly you're in a big snowstorm, right? And especially down to the south over the Sierra where you got the gusty winds on top of that. So you can see on Highway 299, you're still seeing the potential for snow, not to mention I-5. So yes, even though where you may be, it may not be that bad. It may be clear, it may be dry. You head off into the mountains and you're seeing those snow flurries out there, and that's what's going to create the problems. Then we go into Saturday at noon. You see how we're seeing scattered showers, maybe in a few isolated thunderstorms in the valley, but then as we take you into the higher elevations, you're still seeing that snow. So do expect for there to be a lot of chain requirements through the day on Saturday. The impacts, as you can see here, we are looking at that yellow and orange on the map there, indicating minor to moderate. That's also the case on Highway 299 west of I-5. You'll see that we're seeing a lot less orange and red on the map, with the exception of Del Norte County, and not to mention Humboldt County. So we got to watch for that on Sunday. But conditions will improve on Sunday, but we still can't let our guard down just yet. There still will be plenty of chain requirements. Those wave heights for your Saturday are going to be about 14 to 15 feet. It looks like going into Sunday, those wave heights should start to drop. And when we look at your marine forecast, there you can see the hazardous seas warning through at least 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. That should be allowed to expire by the time we get to about 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, so for tonight, temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 30s for the valley. Pretty chilly and getting cold in the mountains. These temperatures you see in the mountains, this helps to support the low snow levels that we're going to see tonight. I mean, and it's getting borderline for places like Redding at 36. I mean, once you get down to about 34, the chances for snow do get a little bit higher. But with that south wind, that's not going to really help us see that snow. Now, looking at the 7-day forecast, you'll see for everyone, what I've done is I've taken out the chance for rain on Wednesday. So really, all the chances for rain and not to mention snow will continue through Tuesday, and then after that, things will start to dry out. Temperatures in the mid-40s for most of us for the North Coast here. Chances for thunderstorms tomorrow, and not to mention going into your Sunday as well. Temperatures still in the low to mid-40s there. We take you out to Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, and you can see those temperatures in the 30s. It's going to be a cold day, but again, that's the support for the lower snow levels that we're expecting to see here going into your Saturday. For Modoc County, upper 20s and low 30s for your daytime highs. It is going to be downright cold. And of course, any precipitation you see there will be in the form of snow. Eastern Mountains, temperatures in the low to some mid 30s. Places like Greenville, Quincy, you know, you're going to be kind of in that borderline rain, snow mix. And Shingletown as well. I think Shingletown could see some of that snow as well. And we take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Haas Farms with those temperatures in the low to mid 50s. Chances for thunderstorms again tomorrow, and we may even see that chance going into your Sunday as well. And then, of course, you'll notice here by Monday, Tuesday, still the chance for showers drying out by Wednesday. Temperatures, though, still quite cool even in the valley, only reaching somewhere in the upper 40s to low 50s. All right, let's take a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. And there, of course, you can see that mix possibly on Saturday. And another chance for a mix on Sunday, a better chance. I think the best chances for snowflakes in the north end of the valley will be Saturday night into Sunday. And then, of course, going through the day on Sunday, the chances begin to diminish. And then more showers often on Monday, Tuesday, and then going into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we should start to dry things out. All right, so that is your forecast, and I'm not exactly sure how much time I spent on that, but you get the idea. You can now go on with the rest of your evening and know that you got the bulk of the forecast. But be sure to stick around now if you want to take a look at the deep dive forecast. And before we get to that deep dive forecast, I want to show you a few pictures that some of you sent out there for today. This is out at Shasta Bali. Thank you, Casey, for sending in this image. What a beautiful shot. And, you know, the images you're going to see here are just a very good representation of what we saw. Because at times, you're looking at something like this. You see blue sky, you see some clouds, and you see off in the distance beautiful snow-capped mountains, right? But then you go over to Anderson from Mary earlier this morning. Look at the hail accumulating out there. So there were some of us that saw hail that was accumulating and, of course, creating dangerous driving conditions. We thank Helen Brunson for this picture. This is out on the coast, that is. Wilson Creek Beach. This is around the Klamath area. I mean, there you can see it's dry. You got some breaks in the clouds there, but that wasn't the case all day long, right? Take a look at Johnson Park. This is near Bernie from Russell. Thank you for sending in this image. There you can see the dusting of snow that they saw out there today. This is the first sign of some of the lower elevation snow that we're going to start to see because snow levels will drop. So for those of you like Casey Kerrigan at 3,600 feet in Shingletown, right? For those of you that saw the snow today, you're going to see it again tomorrow, and most likely it will accumulate. Now, for those of you that want to see your pictures here on this broadcast, and of course I'll most likely share it on Coffee with Kruger as well in the morning, which, by the way, I'll be doing a special edition of Coffee with Kruger tomorrow morning because of this weather here. But I want you to share your photos. Go to the free Weather NorCal app. All you've got to do is download it for free. Go to your app store on your iPhone, your Android, search for Weather NorCal, and you'll see this logo right here. Tap on it, install it, you got it for free, and now you can share your pictures with Weather NorCal. I'd love to see them. And again, see, that's the great way to help me tell the story, to show that, you know what, at times it's not going to be so bad. But then other times you see these storms come through. And that's how this type of storm system works. You've got the main area of low pressure right here. This right here is the main storm. Okay, and then what happens is you've got the flow right here. And you see the kind of the flow of the winds? Right here is the jet stream. That flow is going right into Northern California. So here's what happens. You've got the flow around that low pressure system, and then these disturbances within that flow eventually come through Northern California, and we see showers, we see thunderstorms, we see snow, we see gusty winds as well. But then at times there are no disturbances moving through, and all we're really seeing is clouds and a few showers and really nothing all that bad. So it's kind of the off and on type of situation. And some of you dodge a lot of this altogether. And for those of you who just kind of stay in your area, you're like, well, where's the storm? All you got to do is go around you and realize that everyone else a lot of other people are being impacted by it. And we go into Saturday, right? There's the area of low pressure. Now, notice the flow. The flow is a little bit more, we're looking at a trough axis. I want to show you to talk about the trough axis. This is right here. To the east of that trough axis is where you have the most amount of instability, okay? That's where we have been and will be even for today. But as we go into Saturday, we're going to start to see that push eastward. However, that being said, we're still going to see these disturbances get caught up in that flow. But when we look at Futurecast, you'll see, as the kind of the longer range Futurecast, you'll see that we're not going to see as much activity as we start getting closer to the end of the weekend and beginning of next week. So you see by Sunday, you see how we're looking at more of a northwesterly flow. So the wind's coming in from the more of the northwest. And that's still support for the potential for showers and snow, but not as much. Same situation on Monday. We still got that flow over us even on Tuesday. But then we have high pressure building in by Wednesday, and not to mention Thursday, Friday of next week, and that's when things start to dry out. That's why we have the below normal temperatures in the forecast here as we look at the long range. All right, let's take a look at the severe outlook. And we got the chance for thunderstorms again tomorrow in the valley. I think it should be northward too towards Redding. And not to mention out along the coast having the chance for thunderstorms, and then better chances on Sunday for the coast. And even though the chances are slimmer for the valley, we can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm there as well. All right, let's take a look at through Futurecast, get you out through the weekend actually. So there you can see the snow levels up here, 1,500 to 2,000 feet. So what we're seeing here as we go into tonight, we've got this main band, and this is something that, you know, Futurecast was picking up on even this morning and around noon, is that tonight is when we expect some of the heaviest rainfall and some of the heaviest snow as well. And snow levels are going to be about 1,500 to 2,000 feet. So with snow levels that low, you're going to have chain requirements most likely on Highway 299 and I-5. And I always say most likely because we can't say for sure that it's going to be chain requirements, but you know what? I mean, the chances are very high, especially when you're looking at the forecast, right? Then we go into Saturday. So this is midnight tonight into early Saturday morning. Still around 1,500, 2,000 feet, but we're starting to see snow levels drop. Look at Highway 299. We're getting a bit of that snow and snow mix. I-5, some snow as well, and still a chance for showers and thunderstorms. But the heaviest snow at this point is off into the eastern mountains. You see how it's kind of turning over to scattered activity behind it. So let's take you into Saturday. I mean, Saturday morning, I mean, nothing to kind of go, oh, that's not a big deal, because it is. Yes, there are spots that aren't seeing much in the way of precipitation. You've got the scattered snow flurries out there. But another thing to take note, look at the shade of the blue. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow is. We're kind of in that mid-range with that color here. So we're going to be looking at some light to moderate snow with all of this, but that is low enough at 1,000 to 1,500 feet that it's going to create problems on the mountain highways. There it is on Highway 299. You can see some snow there. You can see some snow on around Mount Shasta City as well. and scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorms for the valley as we go into the Saturday around noon. But you see how we're seeing breaks here and there, but then other areas are seeing the snow flurries. That's going to be the case here through the day on Saturday. And again, we can see the stray thunderstorm. Snow is getting close to the valley. Now, if we see snow in Redding, it's going to be Saturday night, Sunday morning. At this point, I'm not expecting any accumulation. If we see anything, maybe a light dusting near the city of Shasta Lake and maybe North Redding. But for now, I'm not too confident that we're going to see much in the way of snow for the Redding area. Most of it will be in the mountains. But look at this by Sunday. You see how Sunday we still have the chance for these scattered showers and maybe even an isolated thunderstorm for the valley, and not to mention along the coast. But I mean, look at the higher elevations. We're still seeing that snow. But there you can see as we go into Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, look at how things are starting to break apart. So we're now on the back end of this storm and things are starting to quiet down a little bit here, but there still is the chance for some more activity going into your Monday. Now, I hesitate to show you the forecast rain totals because when we see the off and on showers and scattered showers and thunderstorms, you can't know for sure exactly who's going to see 0.3 of an inch of rainfall and who's only going to see a few hundredths. You just can't know that for sure. But I do anticipate that for those areas that do see the thunderstorms, I mean, you could be picking up closer to 0.5 inch to 3/4 of an inch once all is said and done through Sunday. And really, same situation for the coast. I think we could probably see more than that. And it's not picking up much rain for the higher elevations because it's going to be in the form of snow. Now, is it overdoing it for many areas? You know what? Latest model data is now starting to back off in some areas here. You can see upwards of about 4 to 8 inches in Bernie through Sunday, 4 to 8 inches in Shingletown, maybe 8 to 12 inches in Chester. And you know what? These numbers are actually probably pretty accurate. Here you can see, I think we might see a little bit more in Mount Shasta City, and it might be overdoing it for Weaverville and Hayfork, but I do anticipate that you'll see some accumulating snow, not to mention places like Etna and maybe even Hoopa. And Alturas, I've got a report, unconfirmed report, that you've already seen about, 6 inches of snow? I think someone had mentioned that in the Alturas area, so maybe 2 to 4 inches on top of that is probably a very good possibility, maybe even more. Speaking of snow, the snow survey was done yesterday, and look at this. You think about a month ago, we were at about 30% of average to date. Now, based on February 29th, we're 77% of average. Now we take a look at region by region. You can see North Sierra and Trinity, 91% normal to date, 80% of the April 1st average. Now as you head south into Central and Southern Sierra, not as high with that percentage, but certainly a lot higher than we were a month ago. And looking at the statewide average, 70% of the April 1st average and 80% of normal to date. Now take a look at this, because we've got a ton of snow expected in the Sierra. In fact, as we take it through the weekend and even into early next week, you can see the spine of the Sierra right here. Up to 10 feet of snow is expected in some areas. That is a big deal. That is going to have a big impact for people who live in that area. I mean, this is not just, hey, I got to travel from here to here. No, this is for people who live in these areas. They're going to be impacted by this severely. And again, on top of that, it's gusty winds and blowing snow. So yeah, but the good thing coming out of that is the fact that we're going to be looking at that snowpack looking just beautiful. I think that as we go through the weekend, there's a chance we could be looking at our snowpack getting closer to 100%, if not exceeding it. We'll see. But I mean, when you're talking 10 feet of snow in that short period of time, just a few days, that's a big deal. Now the winds, the strongest winds, and this is something I talked about even yesterday, is that the strongest winds were on Thursday with the passing of that cold front. And that's when we saw those gusts upwards of 50, even 60 miles per hour, creating the power outages. Now the winds will still be gusty at times, and I've been talking about how we're still going to see gusty winds, but we're not going to see an event at all, anywhere near what we saw on Thursday. But the winds upwards of 20, 30 miles per hour, certainly not out of the question at times, just not all of the time. And some of you may not even experience those winds, and then you go, well, where are those winds you promised? Well, keep in mind, I am covering this entire area right here. So yes, it's going to be a lot different for some people than others. Taking a look at your noon forecast on Sunday, you can still see the snow in the higher elevations. We take you into Monday. Yeah, we're still seeing, these lines here, this is that flow that I was talking about. So we're still well within that flow of these disturbances to give us some activity here, even into your Tuesday. But by Wednesday, now we're starting to see the activity stay to our north as high pressure, weak high pressure settles in, but it'll be strong enough to keep most of the rain to our north. This may impact us near the end of next week to that next weekend, but looks like we may get a break from all of this by the time we get into the middle of next week. And looking at the long range forecast rain totals, nothing to go, oh, this is exactly what we're going to see. But through Tuesday night, I think we could see over an inch for many of us in the valley, and over 2 inches, close to 3 inches for the north coast. And of course, we take a look at the precipitation outlook. You can see better chances of seeing above normal rainfall as we go into March 7th through the 11th. So yeah, it looks like we are going to continue to see that wet weather pattern going into early next week. All right, take a look at your 7-day outlook again for the Redding area. Again, if we can see that mix with thunderstorms here for Saturday. Sunday, a bit of a mix. And then of course, we've got those showers off and on for Monday and Tuesday before we dry things out for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right, there you have it. Most likely, if you're still here watching, you are one of the people who enjoys watching my long range, my in-depth, deep dive, whatever you want to call it, forecast. I think I'm going to brand it that, Mike's Deep Dive Forecast. But anyway, tell me what you think of that format. Because you may enjoy watching these long, in-depth forecasts, and other people too. But there are going to be times and days when you may just not have time for that. And especially in the morning, you're getting ready for the day, you're getting out, you're getting ready for work, getting the kids ready for school, what have you, and you just need a quick forecast to kind of get you through the day. Well, that's something that I think I can provide for everyone. Because what I can do is I can help those people who need a quick forecast to get them out the door and just get them the information they need for the next 24 hours. And for the rest of you who enjoy what I'm known for in giving that great detail to the forecast, you can stick around and then watch more of that information. So tell me what you think of this format. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you think it's going to be it's just good for everyone? Because the whole idea of this is I want to make sure that Weather NorCal is friendly, is a friendly format for everyone. So that everyone, because what I'm doing here is it's the cutting edge. This is new, doing this all online. So to be able to really perfect this and fine tune it perfectly, anyone else who tries to come in here is going to have a hard time catching up. Okay, so whether you can email me at mkruger@weathernorcal.com, instant message me on Facebook. You can also, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can comment in the comment section below. So again, I'd love to hear what you think. And some of you have already commented and just said some really nice things, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that generally. It's just been so, I'm speechless, quite honestly, because you all have been so receptive to what I'm doing here, and it's been something that was very scary, and now I'm doing it. And you know what? It's growing. I've got more and more people coming to me for advertising, and before you know it, I'll have no spots available for advertising. Wouldn't that be nice? But yeah, tell me what you think of this new format, and I think this is something that moving forward is going to be what I'm doing, and I think it's going to be a great opportunity for everyone. Everyone, this will be a format that I think will benefit everyone. So thank you so much for watching. Again, remember, Coffee with Kruger, Saturday morning, tomorrow morning, as a storm pushes through tonight. We'll have the latest on what's going on with those road conditions and what you can expect with the latest forecast model data for the weekend. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Kruger.